Sources of energy. Since humans discovered how to harness energy, our demands for it have skyrocketed. Civilization now requires more electricity generation than ever. In order to provide enough energy for civilization to run, we rely on burning fossil fuels. Currently, 60% of electricity generated on Earth comes from burning fossil fuels like coal, gas, and oil. Burning fossil fuels, such as coal, natural gas, and oil, emits excessive greenhouse gases that contribute to global climate change. Greenhouse gases are gases like carbon dioxide or chlorofluorocarbons, also known as CFCs. These gases trap heat in Earth's atmosphere, much like a greenhouse traps heat inside. While we could simply stop burning fossil fuels, doing so without first putting alternatives in place would damage transportation systems, food supplies, and the heating and cooling of homes. However, first developing and putting alternatives in place could lead to severely limiting or even eliminating the impact of burning fossil fuels with few, if any, negative impacts. Since many alternatives have other associated challenges, the best solution will be made up of a number of different elements to balance out the costs and benefits. Technological solutions are already having an impact and should have a growing effect over time. Hydropower can reduce the burning of fossil fuels, but has its own impact in that it can require rivers to be dammed, which can harm native fish species, including the spawning of salmon. As it provides steady, reliable power, hydropower will be one element in a comprehensive solution, but not the only element. Wind power has only recently become price competitive with burning fossil fuels. Its cost has declined 40% over the last several years, and in 2019 represented 6.5% of the U.S. electricity supply, and is growing fast. Technological innovation has led to larger, more efficient turbines. Drawbacks include the amount of space required, and some people don't like the way they look. The cost for solar power has declined 80% in the last several years. Ongoing technological improvements are expected to keep driving the cost of solar power lower. Drawbacks include the amount of space required, and some people also don't like the way these look. There are ecological impacts from the manufacture of solar cells. Natural gas, fracking, and coal. Natural gas emits the least carbon dioxide of the fossil fuels, while coal emits the most. It is a very reliable power source, and the technology is well understood. Fracking, short for hydraulic fracturing, involves pumping a highly pressurized mix of water, sand, and chemicals into the ground to release oil and natural gas. Natural gas has declined in price and increased in supply due to fracking, because fracking allows resources to be extracted that wouldn't have been accessible before. There are concerns about fracking. For instance, groundwater can be polluted if it is not done properly. Coal has become more expensive to both obtain and burn. As a result, natural gas is displacing coal, with the result that carbon dioxide emissions and air pollution are being reduced. In thermal power plants, like coal and natural gas power plants, a fuel is burned in a process called combustion. It is through this process that burning fuel is converted into thermal energy. The heat generated by this combustion is used to produce high-pressure steam. The steam is then used to turn the blades of a turbine that is inside of a magnetic field. By using the phenomenon of electromagnetic induction, the coil of wires spinning in the magnetic field generates electric current in the wire. This is the process by which most electricity in the world is generated, a spinning loop of wire in a magnetic field. For the first time, it appears that both renewable sources, such as hydroelectric, solar, and wind, and nuclear power plants will each produce more U.S. electricity than coal. Currently, solar and wind generation is cheaper to build than it is to maintain coal-powered plants, so coal plants are being abandoned. Natural gas use is staying about constant in use, as its plants are cheaper to build and maintain, and it can complement wind and solar for nights and at times when there is not enough wind. Nuclear energy is a steady, reliable source of power, generates no air pollution, and does not contribute to global warming. Nuclear energy is released from the nucleus of an unstable atom. The white smoke here, and I put that in quotes right over here, is just steam, which is water vapor that is removing heat from the system. It does not go anywhere near the radiation from the nuclear reaction. However, there are concerns about the disposal and storage of radioactive waste. Also, nuclear power plants are cooled, and the result is local waterways warm up, affecting aquatic life. While accidents at nuclear power plants are exceedingly rare, the consequences are so severe that this is a concern with current designs. Nuclear power will remain part of the energy solution. As our sources of energy are trending towards becoming cleaner, another innovation is to reduce the need for electricity. Advanced designs achieve the same results with less electricity, which allows us to eliminate the most expensive, most polluting forms of producing electricity. One example is the LED light bulb, which produces the same light as a traditional tungsten bulb, but uses up to 85% less electricity. An LED bulb produces the same light as a 60-watt tungsten bulb, but uses only 10 watts of power. They are so much cheaper to use than a traditional bulb and last about 10 times as long that people switch to them just for cost reasons, not because they are good for the environment, but they are. This chart shows the cost of a traditional 60-watt bulb, over here, versus an equivalent LED bulb for 20,000 hours of use, which is the life of an LED bulb. This assumes electricity costs 10 cents per kilowatt hour, and the LED bulb lasts 10 times as long as a traditional bulb. The cost of electricity far exceeds the cost of the bulbs, so replacing traditional bulbs immediately saves the most money and creates the least environmental impact. So here's the cost for the bulbs, and you'll need 10 tungsten bulbs during the lifetime of one LED, cost of the bulbs, how much electricity is used, and then the total cost of the bulbs and the electricity. Now remember, this is just one bulb, one LED bulb and 10 tungsten bulbs. The solutions designed to reduce the ecosystem impact due to greenhouse gases have advantages and disadvantages. There's no one perfect solution. A combination of natural gas, nuclear power, wind power, solar power, hydropower, and technologies not yet known will be used to supply energy and minimize damage to ecosystems.